Time for what?
Time for what?
Experience in college.
Time for reinforcement.
Time for liftoff!
Where nothing is impossible unless you think it is impossible.
College.
I have my college scholarship.
Yes.
Boom.
College ran by real fast.
You hung in with the best college.
First time for everything.
Well, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Let's do this thing.
Genius, let's do this thing!
Welcome, everyone, to the show. Once again, we have our wonderful guest, Isabel, with us, here to talk about her college experiences as a senior. But before we go into the college stuff, because it's important, of course, but also it's important for you to get to know our listener a little bit more. So, Isabel, I'm going to give you some fire drill questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. Favorite ice cream?
My favorite ice cream is any kind of mango or raspberry sorbet. I like dairy-free ice cream because I just don't like the taste of ice cream.
Ooh, best ride?
Oh my gosh, I love Six Flags. So I'd have to say the Wonder Woman ride at Six Flags that spins you around and takes you all the way upside down. That would be my favorite.
Oh, I got to try that one. Worst ride?
I would have to say anything slow or boring. I hate the spinning teacups. Those are the worst.
Favorite exercise?
My favorite exercise is to run. I love running.
Oh, good for you. Favorite movie?
My favorite movie is The Silence of the Lambs, which is a horror movie.
Ooh, good thing you mentioned that in case we have some G-rated audience listeners out there. And last one, worst advice someone gave you?
To limit myself and be concerned about kind of like the people around me. Told me that I should really censor myself around my friends to make sure that they don't think that I'm weird. And I think that's really bad advice because I shouldn't care too much about what people think of me.
Basically, don't be a conformist. I think my 8-year-old son's like, what did he say? He said, oh, you have to be your own leader. So be your own leader. All right. Well, that's Isabel, but we have more to learn from Isabel. Isabel has been fortunate enough to go on some college visits. So if you don't know, a few colleges, not all, but little by little, as we get out of this pandemic, are opening up doing tours. So Isabel, tell me about your college visit.
The first college visit that I went on was to the university, not the university, or like UC Santa Cruz. And that one was interesting because of the campus. It was so spread out, and it was really different from what I was expecting. UC Santa Cruz is in the middle of a forest. And also, another thing about that one is I didn't really have a real tour. My friend who goes to UC Santa Cruz actually drove up to see us and give us a little tour of her own. But she was a freshman during the pandemic. As expected, she wouldn't really know as much as a normal tour guide would. I thought the university was really interesting. Just the way that the campus was set up, it was not my favorite. And it kind of threw me off because I was expecting to really like it. The way that the campus is set up is it's just really spread out and everything is separate from everything else. So, I just was thrown off by that. And the fact that the whole city and the area around it is really not a college town, which is something that is important to me. I would like to go to college in a college town surrounded by kind of that college theme, and that was not UC Santa Cruz.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Santa Cruz mascot is a slug. So did you see a lot of slugs out there?
Yeah, the banana slug. So we didn't get a chance to go kind of into the forest and see them. We were kind of on a time crunch to get to see as most of the university as possible. But I hear that they're very common over there.
So UC Santa Cruz, right, has its own community on a mountain, right? And it has a college residential system, for those of you guys who don't know, where you could pick a theme campus out there, like Oaks, that focus it, like it also focuses on certain curriculum that your roommates and the rest of the people who live in the dorm will follow. But yeah, Santa Cruz, the boardwalk is a tourist area, so it's not just about the college, just like you've indicated. So how did you arrange a college visit? Like, did you have to pay or anything like that?
So no, we didn't. The university was completely open, so we kind of I had emailed Santa Cruz just to get information. We chose not to do a self-guided tour just because we had my friend who attends Santa Cruz to show us around and kind of tell us a little bit about the school. And no, it was completely free.
And even, so if you're afraid, like, well, I don't know anyone who goes to college at any public university is public land. Your tax dollars are paying for it. You could go on campus just to look around. And also, if you just Google UC Santa Cruz and put in there campus tours, just like Isabel mentioned, you could do virtual visit that's online, or set up even a student-led virtual tour. They give you maps and server guides. So it's all about doing the way you want to do it. So what is your recommendation? Like, great friend from UC Santa Cruz, but if you had do you feel that the friend giving a campus tour was a great experience for you?
So based on my experiences, my best advice would be to wait, if possible, wait a little longer until they open up to give real tours, because that was really what made the difference for me when I had my real tour at Cal Poly. It was amazing. It was so informational, and it was just such a better experience than touring Santa Cruz alone.
Now, when you're visiting these campuses, the campuses were closed, correct?
Yes.
Now, tell us a little bit. So you went from UC Santa Cruz, one of the 9 undergraduate public school systems, through the UCs, which are known more for research programs. But now you went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, the hardest out of the 23 Cal State University. Tell us about those Mustangs.
Cal Poly was absolutely my favorite out of the 3 schools that I toured, which were Santa Cruz, Cal Poly, and UC Santa Barbara. Cal Poly was my favorite for so many reasons. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that I had a real tour with a group of people, and these students and alumni telling us all about the school, about all of the opportunities, about how great their ASB or leadership program is, all of the programs in the school. We got a tour of all of the buildings. The campus was beautiful. It was such a college town, and I really loved it there.
Talk about a college town on there. And one of the things is, if you guys are not familiar with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, the reason why it's so unique since 1901 is because you start your major starting freshman year. So this is not a place for the undecided soul out there. So this is for someone who's very designated. Remember, both UCs and Cal States do not use test scores for a while now, at least for the up to the class of 2025, especially for the UC system. And the thing is, you learn by doing. So yeah, aerospace engineers actually work on an actual airplane. But I would recommend, when you're doing a college tour, whether it's Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Whitman College, no matter where it is, make sure you try to talk to individuals with the same type of interest. If possible, you can reach out to the reps. For example, if you are interested like in theater major, you really want to talk to theater, see if you could talk to someone, even if it's an adult, so you can learn more specialized. Or I remember the last visit I did at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, we had some of our students talk to the Black Student Union, and they were saying, listen, if you want to get your hair done, like braids and stuff, there is nothing here in town. And one would not get that on a regular campus tour. So just a little secret. But yes, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, it's beautiful. It is a college town and is competitive to get into. But you visit, Isabel, another campus.
I did.
So let's hear about it.
So in between Santa Cruz and San Luis Obispo, I visited UC Santa Barbara. So the kind of path we took, we went to Santa Cruz, then all the way to Santa Barbara, then on our way back we went to Cal Poly. But Santa Barbara was awesome. The campus was beautiful, and it was really interesting. We did a self-guided tour, which was helpful, but it also was kind of difficult. Like, the way that the map works, you had to be standing in the exact same spot for you to get all of the information about that spot. You couldn't really move around, and you could skip through any of the information. In my experience, the self-guided tour was not the most informational. They kind of told us about like the history of the buildings more than like the opportunities at that school, which is what I would have liked to hear. But we ended up walking down to Isle Vista, and that was really awesome because it's right next to the campus. And then we toured all along the beach where the campus meets water, and by the little lagoon that they have. And the campus was just beautiful, and I totally could see myself there.
Yeah, UC Santa Barbara, literally there's a building, you get out, boom, there's the beach, right? So you can't, if you love sun and you love the beaches, you can't pick any place better than UC Santa Barbara. Also known as a research university, but is also different for those who don't know. So you always want to check out the majors of the campus. Now, did you have a chance to do that? To check out the majors of the campus before visiting them?
So I did a little research during our little tour that we were doing. I kind of searched up, me and my mom both kind of searched what the majors were offered there. And I can't really remember off the top of my head because we were researching so much about all 3 schools, but it was definitely a path, like I could see myself there. And I was thinking about the law and government one, and I looked kind of at their list of college reps, I think that's what it is, and saw a few that I am going to email. I plan on emailing them and inquiring about their majors.
So you already told our listeners a tip of what to do afterwards a tour, right? So if you found a campus that you love, totally go and connect to the rep. And yeah, if the rep asks how was the tour, I think it was amazing, but it was kind of hard learning more about the history of a building versus current event, which, yeah, you're completely right about that. But remember, guys, only if they ask for feedback. Don't give it unless they ask for it. So yeah, you want to definitely follow up, make sure you're on their mailing list. If you had to do your visit again, what's something that you would definitely continue doing? Let's say to do these 3 visits again. And what's something that you would recommend for our listeners just doing it with family as well?
It was a huge reality check for me. Visiting those campuses was like, wow, I actually need to prepare to go to college and figure out where I want to be. I would recommend, dude, I keep saying this, but really, I hope that they open up real college tours, because if they do, that is the most beneficial thing. Those self-guided tours are just not to the same effect as a real tour would be. I definitely recommend not only checking out the campus, but checking out what's around the campus, seeing if you really like the area. Because for me, with Santa Cruz, I appreciated the campus, but I did not like the area. I did not like downtown. I didn't like what was around. And I think that does really matter for your college experience. You want to be surrounded by what you like and stuff that you're comfortable with.
No, I think that's important. And also remember, if you are someone, even if you're undecided, check out what is the different clubs and organizations available at campus, and just glance at it. You don't have to spend 20 hours, literally just 5 minutes looking at the club, so you can ask questions on the tour, find out some majors, ask them which ones are impacted. Find out what is the largest freshman class size, right? Because for some of you guys don't know, you may be at Cal Poly in a class of 200, but at UC Santa Barbara, 600. For some people, that may be exciting. For some people, be like, what? And know whether it's a quarter system, which all these 3 campuses Isabel did visit is, so it goes a lot quicker than a traditional high school level semester system. I do know there's a lot of high schools with different schedules. Those are the keys that are really important. So since we've talked about some visits, and I think, like you said, if there's live campus tours, so important. But this Delta virus and this pandemic, there's certain things we can control or not control. So let me talk to you, Isabel, and our listeners about resources just in case you can't visit a tour, whether it may be because they're not offering it, whether you can't get a ride over there. Don't forget there's diversity fly-in programs available at many private schools, and also just because life just gets in the way. So let's kind of talk about it. So at your school, Isabel, or with your classmates, has anyone talked to you about resources about virtual tours, like where to go and where not to go?
No. As far as at my school, nobody has given me any kind of information like that.
Well, that's why we're here. So everyone, this is the time to get your pencils or your cell phone out and write these down. And these are legitimate, well-used resources that are online and free, scam-free. The only thing is, maybe if the colleges find out that you're on that site, they may want to contact you because they want you. So let's go to the first one, youvisit.com. So literally how it sounds, youvisit.com. If you want the exact URL, just go /college search. Otherwise, if you go to their homepage, there is a site that says students, parents, colleges. So you click on view tours and there's student and parent section. Here, you want to know what what do you think is the top visited colleges on youvisit.com, which is one of the largest virtual tour website machines out there. What do you want? What's your guess, Isabel?
Oh, shoot. I would guess.
Give me one.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of a popular college, maybe Stanford.
Okay, so guess what it is? It is, I'm going to just give you, they give a few. They don't give me rank order. University of Virginia, Yale University, UPenn, University of Houston, Western Virginia University, and Indiana University. So literally, when you go on there, you could get a picture tour even inside the campus. There is also a student who's going to talk about the campus as well. Here's the thing is, remember how Isabel was like, wait. I can't skip this audio? Yes, you can skip the audio. You could turn it on, could turn it off. Whether you want to visit Idaho State University or a private school like College of Holy Cross. And here's the cool feature at youvisit.com. You could find rural schools. You could check by enrollment, how much it costs based on what's the most popular schools, and you could actually create an account. So that's one. Okay, so you got any questions you have, Isabel, about uvisit.com?
No questions.
All right. Okay. So now another one that some colleges use, but not as popular as a URL, it's campustours.com. Just how it sounds. Campus Tours with an S at the end.